Hey guys, it's Morgan coming to you with just a real short video to describe what the hydro stop is on the new 2023 300XC, SX, XCF, whatever, the new air forks. Most of what is in the air fork is the same as it always has been. Well, not always, they keep changing little things, but it's generally the same. This is the damping side, and this is the big change that they did this year. All the damping happens in here. The big base valve slash compression stack is up here. You got the mid valve that moves through here, controls rebound and compression also, like low speed compression. And so that's all normal. That's all the same. I mean, they changed valving, the shim stacks and stuff like that, but generally it's the same. The big change is this thing here. They're calling this the hydro stop now. Before, this just had a lock nut. This is just the nut that allows you to put the base adjuster in that holds the whole thing into the fork. So that's relatively unchanged. It's maybe a little bit different shape, but whatever, it's the same idea. But it always had a lock nut here to hold it onto the shaft. But now what they've done is they've made this lock nut into this hydro stop. It is a cup like that. And the way this works is it's another bottoming resistance device, mechanism, whatever you want to call it. As the fork's working, it's doing this, right? So it's moving in and out. This one's kind of hard to move. This is my personal one. We've got it valved pretty darn stiff for racing. So anyway, it's moving, doing its thing. And the other side is the air spring holding it up. So before, it would just move through the stroke, come down. If you got close to the bottom, it would just bottom. Pretty hard to do with an air fork because the air spring is so progressive. As the air gets tighter and tighter, more and more compressed, it resists bottoming very well. But what this does is this is going to be inside the fork tube. It's going to be full of fluid. And then as this comes down, it's going to come down, and right there, you see it enters the cup, right? So as it enters the cup, it's going to really hit a ton of resistance because it's not going to hydrolock, but it's going to hit a ton of resistance. And the reason it doesn't hydrolock is this ring here is new. If you guys have ever taken an AER fork apart, you'll notice that this looks different. It's got little ports right there, you can see. And then the back side, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this very well. Probably not. Anyway, it comes through. So as this thing hits, it's going to meet with a bunch of resistance as it tries to force that fluid, and that fluid's going to get pushed through this. And of course, as you can see, it's not a perfect fit, so they'll squeeze it out. So that is the hydro stop that they've been talking about. This is what KTM put on all their early literature and hype about these bikes, and the chassis is that hydro stop. So that's what that is. Hope that little video helps you guys understand a little bit better. I do really like this fork the way it is. I will be testing lots of other iterations. We're probably gonna do a KYB conversion on this fork, maybe 6500 kit. There'll be lots of things going on and testing, but honestly, for a stock fork for a race motorcycle, this thing is good. Don't listen to Jeff Slavens and his grumpiness about how terrible the fork is on this bike. It's not nearly as bad as he says. I mean, maybe if you're doing hard enduro or really slow, kind of really big rocky stuff, it's maybe not great. But honestly, even around here in the kind of, I would call it intermediate rocky stuff at a decent pace, like second, third gear and up, it's pretty freaking good in stock form. Now it's even better with our valving. And we're just, like I said, going to keep iterating on this thing and see what the best setup in the long run is, of course, and what that costs, and cost versus benefit, and anyway, all that. But stock machine, pretty darn good. Thanks guys, get out, pop some wheelies.